Welcome to part 2, and here we're going to have a look at ways to enhance drab colours like the shot here. Part 2 before, you can see that the colours are fairly desaturated. We've got some nice rich browns on the hair, but the skin tones look a little bit too pale and washed out. And the overall contrast is a little bit flat. We could actually increase the contrast and also make the colours stand out at the same time. And one tool that enables us to do that, to tweak contrast and change colour, is the levels command. So if you go to Enhance, adjust lighting, levels, or press Ctrl L if you're in a keyboard shortcut mood, and it pops the levels command window. And here we have a handy histogram that shows us the spread of the shot's tones from the darkest shadows on the far left to the brightest highlights at the far right. And you can see we've got much more stronger highlight pixels than we have shadows, so we could boost those shadows and make them a little bit stronger and create a wider contrast range. And to do that, we can choose one of the eyedroppers here. If we choose this one here, it's the set white point eyedropper. That allows us to click in the shot and decide which areas should be at the brightest, and it will then change all of the similar pixels that we sample to be pure bright as well. So if I clicked here, for example, where it's slightly grey, it's actually going to lighten all those similar grey pixels, and in this case it's blowing out the highlights. So let's click reset, and we'll try playing with the midtones instead. That's the set grey point. If we choose an area that should be pure grey, let's just go down to here, click, and you can see that it's tweaked all of the similar greys, and it's actually warmed up the skin tones a little bit. So if you want warmer looking skin tones, then this tool is quite a good one to press. And you can keep clicking in different areas, and that's cooled things down a little bit to try and get the colours that you want and the tones that you want, just with a simple click. But let's click reset. And we'll move over to the Set Black Point tool that lets us choose the darkest shadows in the shot by sampling a dark section. If we went to this area under the arm, which is quite dark but not very black, and clicked, it would darken these areas here and all the similar semi-dark pixels, and that gives us a very dark and cold looking color tint. But that's really too dark, obviously, so reset, click again to select the Set Black Point tool, and let's choose a darker color like this fold just here, click, and that gently darkens the similar shadows there, but because they're already quite black, it's not making too much of a dramatic change, but it's enough to create a wider range of tones. And you can see the before and after by unticking the preview box. There's the before, fairly washed out looking skin tones there. There's the after, and the increased contrast just gives the image a little bit more kick. So when you're happy, click OK to apply the change. So you could see when we changed the levels there really dramatically, they cooled down the color temperature. It was a little bit too cool. We can now improve the shot's colors by using an adjustment layer. Let me show you how to get that by going to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and choose Hue Saturation, and it will appear once you click OK down in the bottom right. Here's one I prepared earlier. And what we can do is then make a global adjustment by using the master setting and popping saturation to the right. But if we go too far, we can end up getting really orange and over the top looking skin tones, like she's used a fake tan. So let's take that down to more subtle, maybe plus 16. And we can then enhance the colours as well of her clothing. We can give the blues a little bit more kick because they're very subtle and grey at the moment by going to blues and then just pushing that a little bit further, and that just cools down and gives a more vibrant looking selection of colours on the clothing. And as this is an adjustments layer, let's pop up to Window, go down to Layers to turn on the Layers palette, and you can see the adjustment layer floating above the background layer. Turn that off for a second to see the rather drab colours we had before, and then click it again to see the enhanced colours. So we've now got more vibrant looking skin tones, a bluer looking dress, and of course the Levels command also helped us create a wider range of shadows, midtones and highlights. So that's how to boost drab colours using levels and adjustment layers. In the next movie we're going to use colour curves to boost midtone contrast. See you there.